Welcome back, guys. We are back here with Kate Lyons, and we're here at a little like after hours bonus episode. We just got to talk to Kate about imposter syndrome, and that was so amazing. Got so much value from it. So, and we just want to like kind of trickle into it where, you know, mental health really ties in with, you know, entrepreneurship and business and the pressures of being a business owner, and really having a mental toughness is, you know, when you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, you're in this mindset of, I have to be mentally tough.
Yeah. But
the reality is, with the pressures of business, we also go through, you know, mental health, you know, problems or issues in our personal lives. So we're here to talk about that, and want some insight from you as to like, how do you manage that, right? So I'm an entrepreneur. We're all here entrepreneurs, but the reality is, like I said, we are going to go through tough moments, and the pressure, coupled that with the pressure of, I need to run my business, make it successful. What are the challenges that you have seen maybe in clients or even in your own business where this is becoming like a reality, that maybe you could help our listeners that maybe are in business and are dealing with something that is like a mental health?
Absolutely. I think the first thing that I would say is to remember that like your business is nothing without you. So if you're not, which I know can sound like pressure inducing,
I was just going to say pressure.
But what I want to say is that like, if like nothing is more important, including your business, nothing and no one is more important than your own mental peace and your own mental well-being. So why I was saying is your business is nothing without you, not to put the pressure on you, but that like, if you're not thriving and you're not doing well, neither will your business. Like your business, like if you are suffering, so will your business. Like you are your business. So it is an extension of you. So with people that are, you know, have been entrepreneurs for a time now, maybe they're not like new entrepreneurs or they're thinking about becoming entrepreneurs. I have made in my own life, like my mental well-being is like number one, but before my business, it's non-negotiable. Like it's something that, you know, and everyone keeps up with these things differently. Sometimes it's exercise, sometimes it's therapy, sometimes it's both, however you process and however you deal with your emotions in a healthy way, it's fine. But that needs to be number one. Like it can't come after your business. It can't. So like I said, whether it's, you know, it's going to the gym 4 days a week, you know that it's waking up and maybe getting a walk in before your workday starts, getting a run in, whatever it is, it's going to therapy once a week. It's getting outside for 30 minutes in the middle of your day. It's actually taking a lunch break. You know, as entrepreneurs, we don't have the scheduled lunch break. So it's like, no, I don't need it. But it's really being so cognizant of these things. You really have to switch your view to that it is more important than your business, because your business is nothing without it. Like, again, if you're falling apart, so will your business.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense, because I mean, people that even know me, you know, Sam, like my first 3 hours of my day before I even start work. And that was not always like that. Yeah. I had to learn.
I was just going to say, you have to find your groove.
Yes. My peak state is morning. So if I didn't allow myself that time, and I figured it out along the way through the struggle of, you know, running a business, growing a business, creating the boundaries. But it's like you have to find your peak state, or what is going to make you a better you. Yep. And gratitude walk, meditating, working out, like you said. But that's so valid. And it's like a simple thing. Like,
it is simple. And we overcomplicate it. And like you were just saying, like you have to find your groove. Like if you are going through it mentally while owning a business, like it's just time to like figure out what's not working, because something's not working, right? Like whether it's your schedule, whether it's the timing of things, it's the workload, it's the amount of clients that you're seeing, something's not working. So you have to really hone in on what's not working. And what you just said is so true. Like I know when I first started coaching, I would start at 8 a.m. and I would leave my schedule open till like 6 p.m. So it's not that I would work 8 to 6 every day, but I had it open 5 days a week, even 6 days a week when I first started. And I started to realize, wow, I'm very impressionable in the morning. Like I need my mornings. Like
Yes.
I cannot, I am not, and some people are, I'm not a start work at 8 o'clock in the morning. I start work at 12 o'clock now. I start clients at 12 and I don't mind seeing them till like 5 or going later. But I know in my mornings, I need my breakfast. I need my journaling. I need my meditation. I need my prayer. I need even just sitting outside in the nice weather. I need it. Like, and if I have like a rushed morning and I decide to see a client before that time, like I will feel it and so will my work. So you do have to find what's not working if something's not working. Like that is your responsibility as a human being, a business owner. And then at that point, if you're a parent, a partner, like, because it will pour into other areas of your life, you need to figure out what's not working if something's not working.
Right. You have to kind of diagnose your situation.
Yeah. And you need to be willing to make changes. You need to be flexible and adaptable in your own situation. You can't just accept the narrative of I'm a business owner. We're always stressed. We're always anxious. We're like, it doesn't have to always be that intense. Like I was saying in our last episode about being noble, like it doesn't have to come with being a business owner. Like it doesn't have to be a part of like, well, I'm always stressed and I'm always anxious and I'm always losing my mind because I own a business. It's like, no, like that does happen sometimes for sure. You know, our work never stops, but it doesn't have to be so intense and debilitating.
Yeah.
I think it also too, like establishing boundaries is so important in your own business, or even if you're just a freelancer, or if you have any type of start, like if you're just starting on something that you're working on, like if you don't develop boundaries, your business is going to end up running you versus you running your business.
Yeah.
And I'm like honestly just letting you guys go off right now because I am the first one to just like let that happen on accident and not really be in control of it. You know what I mean?
It usually is an accident. It's not something that we want to induce on ourselves. But like when it comes to boundaries, like something, and boundaries are in everywhere, right? Work, our relationship with our phone, our relationship with fitness, our relationship with food, with other people. Like every relationship has boundaries, and that we have relationships to all of these things. But I say all the time that like our boundaries are like our internal law system. Like imagine living in a country or a state where there's just no laws. Like anything goes. There's no rules. You can do whatever, whenever, to whoever. Like there's no repercussions for anything. It would be a shitstorm and the country would be on fire and people would be like, it would just be horrible. It would be like we need some law and order. So your boundaries are that internally. And when you lack those boundaries, in any of these relationships, like your life, your business, your relationships will be out of control. They will be out of control.
And I was just thinking like where I see it happen a lot in my business is that, you know, we develop these policies to protect our business, to protect our time, to like respect our own time and really to guarantee food on our table because without it, like we are literally like, we don't have a W-2, you know, we don't have like a guaranteed check every week. And so where I see this, I struggle with this is that, you know, I have these policies in place, but then I make friends with all my clients. Like every single client that's in my chair becomes like a friend and some like a family to me.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, when that person then cancels on me last minute and I'm like, am I going to charge them $150 right now? And then I struggle because I'm like, but that's my boundary and that's what they agreed to. And I'm 95% of the time I'm like, okay, like, you know, this time it's okay. But then, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's why a lot of the time when I'm like, am I qualified to be a business owner? Because I put too much heart into it. And like, I don't know, like there's times when even to this day, like this morning I was dealing with that where like we had a client bail, but like she's helping me out with something else on the sidelines that has to do with my like other parts of my business. And I'm like, so like, do I like waive it for her and not for somebody else? And then it becomes like a roller coaster of like, you know, this one expects it. Then this one is like totally respectful and like, you know what, take the fee.
Good topic, honestly, in regards to like friends when you have business.
It's so
that,
hard.
Like something I will say about that, like with that boundary, is that I do think if you are going to be a friend and you're going to be a client, like the same rules of the friendship should apply to the business in a sense of like, it's not cool if we're going to lunch for you to cancel on me last minute. My time's valuable. Like if something comes up, fine, yeah, I'm gonna let it go. It happens one time, sure. But if every single time we make plans, you're constantly canceling on me last minute, like you're not being respectful of my time and you're not even being respectful of the friendship. So if you have a friend that's a client, like they really should be giving you the same respect of like, your time. And I totally understand. Like I too have like a last minute policy, but if I have a client that I've been with for a long time and it's genuine, like she never does this. And like, maybe it's the second time it's happened in a year or something. I'm like, it's fine. Like but I have a client who I still see to this day and I love her, but she had a chaotic life, like with like kids but she was always either no showing or canceling on me last minute. And I remember texting her and being like, I love you. And this is nothing personal, but you need to pay in advance for your sessions. I was like, you're killing me. And like I said it kindly. I'm like, you're killing me. I'm like, you're killing me. I'm like, you're taking an hour away from somebody else. I love you and I'm not giving you the boot, but like this is our policy now. Like I can create a separate policy for you of like, and she knows it. And she was like, I'm sorry. So now whenever she books a session, I'm just like, I send her the payment link. Yep, you got it. Whenever it's paid, you're good. And if she knows she goes to that appointment, I'm like, okay, it's fine. We'll reschedule this one. Like it's not a big deal to me. So sometimes you do have to not have to, but you can create your own policy within like your friendships. But like at the end of the day, it is your business and it needs to be respected. And if it's not being respected, it's not a good friend.
Because we're always the common denominator. Like if let's say we have 50 appointments booked in 1 month and 25 of them cancel, like each person, it only happened that one time with them, right? But to us, it happened 25 times. So like, and I don't think that I know that it's like a balancing act and you kind of have each situation is like unique to itself. But that's like one way that in my own business, I struggle with that too, because I just build such good friendships with everyone that I'm like, you want to give someone like, leeway to like make mistakes and give them grace. But at what point does it become like, you're kind of like taking advantage a little bit, you know? So I think I just like, that's one way in my business. I see boundaries are blurry and, it doesn't feel like that's me being a good advocate of my business.
It's not, but you're right. It's not. It's kind of like me and you were talking in between the episodes before of like how things go back deeper and further.
Absolutely.
And like, that is like and that happens all the time with people. It happens with me as well. It's a fear of like not wanting to be disliked. I don't want you to be mad at me. Like I'm scared. Like if I set a boundary, like you're gonna, I don't know, you're going to stop coming here or you're going to talk badly about me. But like, that is what comes with having boundaries. Sometimes you're going to piss some people off. And if you come from, whether it's like a home or a childhood or something where like you were in trouble for doing stuff like that, it's hard. Like I was just saying in our last episode, how Monday I knew that I was being like snappy. I was watching my cues of like, okay, like I need to like step back a little bit. And you would have thought that I told my boyfriend that I killed his dog by telling him I needed a night alone. It was so hard for me. It was so, and I was like, it's not personal. Like and he was like, I'm not disappointed in you. It's fine. But it's a fear of like, oh my gosh, I said that I need to, I'm setting a boundary right now for myself that like is good for me. Therefore it's good for our relationship. But I was terrified. I felt all night. I felt so bad. I'm like, oh my God, I hope I didn't like hurt his feelings and he was like, Kate, like, it's okay. Like it's totally fine and it's favorable. Like I know you need some time alone. Like this is how you get, like take your time alone. But I think it's the same thing with those work boundaries that like you got to set them. And if people are like push back and they're like, really, you're going to, I am, because really you're going to cancel on me last minute for the 5th time this month. Yes, I'm charging you. I love you and it's not personal. And if they take it personal, that's on them. If I was canceling on like, I have a girlfriend that owns a gym and I canceled, I think either last minute or the day before. And I'm like, don't literally keep my money. Like do not refund me. Like I took a spot in your class and like something happened on the way there and I was like, no, like keep it seriously. Like, because you should want to support
that's like
your friends.
The way I feel like it should be.
It's the right way to do things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a tough one for sure. But I do think if it's a good friend and they can they should be able to understand, especially if their behavior is like consistent. Because like I said, if your friend was canceling on you last minute for lunch every week, eventually you'd be like, listen, I love you, but like this isn't cool. Like I'm moving my day around to spend time with you. Like I value our friendship, but like you're clearly not respecting or reciprocating the same thing back. Like you'd have to do that in a friendship anyway.
100%.
So,
It's like resilience of like you have to kind of go through a situation and learn from it and bounce back and like do it better the next time, you know?
Otherwise you get resentful. You're going to get resentful of those clients. You're going to get resentful of your business if you're like, I had 25 people cancel this month, and if I really stuck to my policies, that would still be $1,500 in my pocket, but now I'm out $3,000. Like you will get resentful when, and again, that's happened to me. Business, relationships, if you have boundaries and you are not speaking up on them and you're not setting them, you will get resentful of whoever's on the other end of it. Your partner, your business, your clients, your friendships, 1,000%.
Yeah, and it's like the only one who's suffering is you at the end of the day.
Yes, right, 100%.
I think too, you have to like identify and be real with where you are, right? So if you're in the, you know, mindset of, okay, I'm scaling my business and I need to take, you know, all these clients right now, but I know that I'm building something where it's not going to happen overnight. And I think we get so caught up in, I need to be here like yesterday, which we are putting that pressure on ourselves. But if it's just normalizing that, no, you know what, I am going to take these clients right now, and I am maybe going to, we were talking about facing burnout. I am going to maybe work and, play injured in a sense, and then find a space where I can also create a boundary and be real with my clients and say, you know what, this week I'm not going to take, 100 clients, but it's being real with yourself and identifying the boundary and just saying, you know what, I am going to build a successful business. It's not going to be convenient, because nothing of, success is convenient. It's you're going to be inconvenienced, but also allowing and having grace and saying, you know what, I am going to create a boundary. I am going to, give it a timeline. So if we give ourselves that timeline to know that, hey, I'm not going to, pressure myself to, put an end date to it. It's good to have a goal and a date, but it's also giving yourself that grace that it will happen, and you're going to create those boundaries. You are going to get there. So if you know, hey, I'm in the pursuit of scaling my business right now, but right now I need to train my staff and do the clients, but being real with yourself is really the point of what I'm trying to say. And going back to what you said is that resilience, right? So it's, being resilient and knowing that, okay, I'm going to be focusing on my decision making and all of that. So I feel like it's just,
it makes you more valuable too. Like, I think when you can like find that within yourself, like you said, of like seeing your importance and like setting boundaries and stuff. Like I personally, like, I'm trying to think of like any other like business that I would go to, but like, I don't know, if I was seeing a therapist or something and they were like, yeah, I have like, full availability. I can see you any day this week, anytime. Like, oh, you want 8:00? Sure. I'll see you at 8:00. And like, but then if there was somebody else with any business, honestly, that was like, no, actually, like I only see clients like 11 to 4, Monday through Friday, my next available is 3 weeks. I'm sorry. Like, but that person, I'm, even though I can see the other one sooner, that person's more valuable to me.
Absolutely.
They're way more valuable to me. So it really does even benefit you on a business level to again, see your worth and your value and to communicate that to others. Because again, who wants the person that like is just, it's fine, it's fine, whatever. But like, even again, it all ties into even life, even a partner who wants a boyfriend or a girlfriend that's like, it's fine, whatever you want, whatever you say. No, I don't have it. No, I can, whatever you want, I'll be here waiting for you. Like, that's not, you're not valuable.
Right.
You're the person you're dating is like, what's the, like,
right.
She doesn't see her value. And now I don't either. And it's not even a conscious thing. It's just like, that's just like psychology. Like when there's not a demand, not even a demand for something, but if there's no, if it's just so
they're
easy,
not valuing themselves, how are you going to value them?
There's no rules, like whatever you want, like nobody actually wants that. Like that doesn't make you're not a better business owner for doing that. If anything, you are like, you're less valuable.
Absolutely.
You're less valuable.
Yeah. It's so funny because I hear my assistant Paige say this all the time. It's because I do book out a month in advance. And she says, well, you can find someone else that is available tomorrow, but you really want to go to someone that's credible and really sought out and in demand. And unfortunately, Vivian is booked out for a month or whatever, but it does bring the value up in the person.
Right. And when you leave your next appointment, you can book with Vivian for the next following 2 months so that she can see you more consistently after that. But to get in, on a last minute walk-in call, like, no, I'm sorry. Like there's a wait list. So you are more valuable in that sense, for sure.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, I have a question. So like, if you just look at mental health and like business ownership in general, like what kind of advice would you give somebody who struggles with their mental health and owns business and their business has to run? I mean, I know we like briefly touched on this,
but I know
like,
what you're saying. It is a different question.
It's a little bit like where that person is at burnout. They're like really trying to keep it together and they're struggling. Like they're just struggling
in their personal
life.
Yeah.
Maybe they have stuff with their
pressure.
family going on or their relationship, especially really. Like I have had people in the past who like I've worked with and like if something was going on at home, like that it reflected in that person's work and it affected their like credibility with clients and stuff like that. But it wasn't that person was like at fault really, because it was genuinely what they were going through and maybe they should have taken like a personal day like you were saying before. But like, how does somebody navigate that if they're even prone to like anxiety and depression? Like that's really hard to like deal with.
I mean, you going into it, even going into like my own thing as well. Like I struggle with anxiety, with like all of that stuff. Like that wasn't like something that new that happened. And going into it, I was aware of that. Like I was like, I know that there are certain things that are going to be hard for me. Like I know that there are certain policies, there are certain boundaries, there's just certain things that overstimulation, overwhelm, like that I know are going to be hard for me. And I know that this isn't like the easiest answer, but it's kind of the same answer as before of like, it has to come first. It's non-negotiable. If you are somebody that you know you are prone to anxiety, depression, burnout, whatever it is, like that needs to come first. And why I say it's not really the desirable answer is because typically that means that you need more self-discipline. You need more accountability. Like I think a lot of business owners who are very like anxious, stressed out, depressed, like all of these things. And I'm not saying that this is like a black and white statement across the board. Of course there's nuance, but they're usually not putting themselves first. They're not. They're putting their business first. They're putting their families first. They're putting everything. Usually it's everything but them first. At best, they're putting their business first and themselves second. But usually there's about 5 things ahead of them before it's them. And you need to, it's not an opinion. It's a fact that if you are not putting yourself first by whatever that means to you, walking, exercising, eating healthy, taking proper supplements, in therapy, like any of these things, making sure that your space is clean every night before you go to bed. That's a huge one for me. If I wake up and there's a couple dishes in the sink, it messes with my head. And I'm not even a neat freak. I'm not, but I'm actually an organized mess, but I know that I actually perform and do better in my work when my apartment is spotless and I wake up and it's spotless. Like it's little things like that. And why I'm saying it's not the desirable answer is because maybe I get home and it's 8:30, it's 9 o'clock at night and I just want to go to bed and wake up and work tomorrow, but my mental health comes first. What does that mean? I gotta clean the apartment right now. I gotta shower. I gotta do my skincare. I gotta take care of myself and then I can go to bed. It's not, again, not the desirable answer because it's not easy. It requires discipline and you can go the route, which I have definitely had the thought of before. And I'm so glad I never like succumbed to it, but I have had the thought of maybe I'm just not cut out to be a business owner. Like maybe this is just too much for me. Like maybe I would be better off at a 9 to 5 collecting a paycheck. And you can go that route if you really want, but you're not fixing anything. You're not addressing the underlying issue of you're not putting yourself first, because you can go back to a 9 to 5 and you can go back to do anything else, but you're still not going to be first. Something else will now, and you find yourself in a relationship that will be first. Like, so if you struggle, you need to make yourself number one, because you're not going to have a business if you don't.
I feel that's so relatable, because I always say like when there's clutter in my home, there's clutter in my mind.
Oh, 100%. That's anybody. You even if you're not like an organized person, that's anybody.
I think there's so many people that are going to relate to that. And culturally, I think this also is going to be very relatable. I grew up in a very Greek household. And so my mother, it's like, again, she always put herself last. Yeah. It was
so
always
you were modeled.
Yes. And it's very relatable to your personal life, and whether you're raising your family with, your husband or your work. if you don't put yourself first, you're going to burn yourself out,
Yes.
but then you're not going to show up as the best, entrepreneur or business owner. And I watched her, she always like fed us, did this, cleaned the house. And she was like, we were all like, Mom, can you just sit down and eat? Like put a plate. And she was like, I have to go shower now. It's like, no, take care of yourself. And then I actually watched her after many years, but watched her change that.
That was her identity for a bit.
Absolutely. And I think it's relatable in any area, whether you are a mom or a business owner, you are going to be the best you when you do take
I wanted
those
to say
actions.
that. Yeah,
regulating your
mom,
nervous system.
100%. You need to be regulated in any of these positions. And like business owner and like even mom, like being mom, I'm totally not saying like your kids don't come first. I am, but I'll explain like what I mean by that. Like I am all for, I cannot wait to be a mother one day and embody
There's
the
a
role
balance.
of feeding everybody, cleaning. Like I look forward to it. I'm not in any ways being like, no, that's not.
No, you should definitely do that, but there's got to be a balance.
There's got to be a balance. And also this is kind of like the catch-22 of it is I'm sitting here saying like you need to come first before even your children, and a mother would hear that and be like, what do you mean my kids come first? And it's like, but this is the fine print. I agree with you, but they can't come first if you don't. Like if you're not putting yourself first, they are not getting the best care from you. They are not getting the best mother. So your kids, don't worry, they're still coming first, but like your care needs to be of the best. Like you need, when you are your best, your kids get the most regulated version of you. They get the most emotionally available version of you. They get, and again, tying this into business, it's the same thing. So like, even if you're like, yeah, but my business, but it feeds me. It's like, okay, fine print. It can come like, not that it can come first, but like you have to come first if you want these things that you keep putting before you to flourish. So it's not saying like, get rid of these things, they're not important. You're like, let your kids starve while you eat. Like, it's not saying that. It's saying that like, if you want these things to flourish that you keep putting before you, you have to come first.
It's kind of like when you're on a plane and you're like, they're like telling you have to put your own what is it, like the air thing? Oh God, I would fail as like a flight attendant. Just put the thing on first and then help somebody. But they do say that it's like you have to put your oxygen mask.
Yes,
there
oxygen.
it is.
Well, think about if you don't. Think about if you don't, you have a kid sitting next to you and they're like, put yours on first before you put your kids on. It's like, analogy. But my kid comes first. It's
that's
like,
like
if
a
you don't
good,
put
like,
yours
example.
on, what if you pass out now and now you can't breathe and now you die and your kid dies? And it's like, maybe dies is an extreme example with the oxygen, but now your kid's not getting oxygen because you didn't give yourself oxygen first, and it's like, but my kid, it's like, I get it, but you need to do it first in order for your kid to get it. They're not going to get it if you don't get it.
It's a great example.
Such a good point.
Right. So it's the same exact thing that it's like, but it's like, I get it. I agree with you, but like, it's not possible if you don't give yourself the oxygen first. They're not going to get it. Like they're not going to get it.
Yeah. The examples you said before of like going to the gym or like taking good supplements, eating right, like are those all examples you would say to regulate your nervous system for somebody, let's say, who doesn't know how to do that? What if they are just feeling burnout, they don't even know which way's up?
Right. So
what would you recommend somebody who's a baby in this area? So they're like,
there's definitely baby steps to it. The one like thing that I like to always say to people when it comes to like figuring out how to like fill your cup, which I think goes hand in hand with regulating the nervous system, is that you should have 4 things a day that are pouring into your health, your spirituality, your creativity, and I would say even your mental health, your spirituality, your creativity, and your physical health. So there should be one thing a day of those 4 things you should be pouring into each one of them with one way or another. So whether it's reading your Bible, going for a walk, going to therapy, obviously you can't do that every day, but maybe whatever it is, reading some part of a book that you're really into right now, making yourself a healthy meal, creatively wise, painting, drawing, creating a TikTok or like something. Like you need to be doing those things every day in order to fill your cup up. Now, I do think that goes hand in hand with self-regulation, but if you're saying like you're a baby of it and it's like I don't even know where to begin like right now, there's some really simple things, like very simple things. Obviously, when it comes to emotional regulation, meditation I think is wonderful. I'm all about like taking like a hot shower, dimming the lights, candles, removing the blue light, like removing the overstimulation, really prioritizing your sleep, getting outside, grounding, sunlight, healthy foods, water, like super important. But there are some cues that a lot of people miss, and this has to do with dysregulation and also creating more trust inside your own body. And we all do this as business owners, especially you guys on your feet in the beauty industry. When you have to pee, go and pee. When you are thirsty,
oh my God,
take a sip of water, because you are sending the message to your body that no, your needs don't matter. Your needs are not important right now. What's in front of me is go pee. Go pee, take a sip of water, like listen to your body's cues. If you're hungry, eat something. If you're not thirsty, don't drink water, but like really pay attention to your body's cues. If you're tired, put your phone down. Like if you, whatever it's asking you for, you have to give it. And that was like one thing that I started to practice very consistently. That was huge, was the peeing thing. Like I would be on my laptop working and I would know that I had to pee, and like 2 hours would go by. I'm like, I haven't even peed yet. Oh my God, like how did I hold this in for that long? But it's, your body is sending you a message saying, hey, you gotta go to the bathroom. Like, hey, I'm thirsty.
Nurture the organism before you can like
so
do
like I think
else.
a very simple way to start is like right there. Like what is your body asking you for that, and you're not answering it. You're ignoring.
But
you're
why?
ignoring it.
Why are we normalizing that? Because I can't tell you how many times I've heard
This
this.
is the whole thing about hustle culture.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I worked so hard today. Like I had no time to eat.
I didn't even take a bathroom break.
I didn't even take a bathroom break. Like why are we normalizing
I
that?
cannot know, because we see it as noble. We see it as, wow, you're such a hard worker. Like, wow, you're so dedicated
I'm guilty
to your
of it.
craft.
I've made
But
videos
we're
on
training ourselves to be this way, and it should not. I come first. I need to stop what I'm doing, and go.
And talk
relieve
about as a
myself in the
female business
bathroom.
owner, by the way, like that is how you slip into like your masculine, and that's how you fall. Like I'm not about like hustle culture by any means, but I'm also not about like that woman shouldn't like, you know, have our own businesses and thrive, but we very easily fall out of our femininity and into our masculine. And talk about filling your cup up. If you're falling out into the masculine and out of the feminine, you're not going to feel very creative.
So
you're not going to pour into those outlets.
This is going to be so relatable to so many people. And how do you manage that? Because you are, let's say, a single woman and an entrepreneur, and you're running a business.
Very in your masculine.
You're
right.
so how are you going to, you can't rely, you have to show up. You have to pay the bills. You have to do the shopping, the cooking. Everything is on you. So how are you going? What can you tell the person that's listening right now that's like, oh my God, that's
sitting
me.
here right now. You mean
I didn't want to.
I love that you did that,
because I'm like, oh my
I really
God.
love that you did that, because
The person
so real.
that's either sitting here or listening is like, this is me.
You mean the one who's sitting here?
How can
This
I
is
live?
me too. Just to take the spotlight off of you. This I always fall into this.
And so do I. And I have
we all do.
a husband, right?
Yes.
But I'm still sometimes, but I want to be in my feminine.
Right.
I want, and you know, and it's actually, when you are in a marriage or relationship, it is easy to kind of bounce out of it and just be like, you know,
I can do it. I got it.
Be in my feminine because I'm with him now, and he's going to.
Well, let's be real and be honest that there's nothing wrong. Like there's different. There's feminine, there's masculine, and there's different like archetypes. Like there's different kinds of femininity. Like there's nothing wrong with being a woman who works hard. Like that's not masculine. And there's also like the yin and the yang. Like masculine needs some feminine needs some masculine. So like it's not, there's nothing bad about it. It's when you're like really slipping too far into the masculine and away from the feminine. So how do you nurture that? You nurture the feminine qualities, and this actually goes hand in hand with what we're talking about with like boundaries in the business. The feminine is very trusting. They're very surrendered. They're very soft. They're very honest. Like they're not controlling. Like they're not controlling by any means. They're trusting of the world. They're trusting of God. They're not trying to manipulate. They're not a very obvious wounded feminine trait is feeling like guilty and feeling bad and like people pleasing. So it's stepping away from those things. You can work hard, you can work consistently, you can work as often as you'd like, but you need to make sure that you are slipping into these qualities still of trust. And trust doesn't just mean like, oh, I trust God and I trust, I trust that if I'm having a hard month at work right now, everything's going to be okay. I trust that if I had 50 clients last month and I only have 10 this month, It's going to be okay. I don't need to go working extra hours and manipulating this and sending out like this. Like, no, it's okay. It's going to be okay. You have figured it out every single time. You will continue to. So it's really like nurturing those sides of things. And then as a female entrepreneur as well, like if you're slipping into the masculine outside of work, pouring into those creative outlets, like pouring into like the soft, slow things. And it's like, it sounds like girly, but like baking and painting and like maybe going to a Pilates class, going to a yoga class. Like I know that before I was an entrepreneur, I actually preferred more aggressive types of exercise, like boxing, heavy weightlifting, like high endurance. And it's not that those things are bad or even masculine. Yeah. Since I've been an entrepreneur, though, I actually like a slower paced exercise now. I prioritize my rest over my like hard work, like push till I'm so sore and I can't move the next day. Like I'm like, no, I'm good with 3 days a week now. Like, no, I you know what? I think I'm good on like a nature walk today. Like, you know, so it's really yoga, balancing those things. Yeah. And again, I'm not by any means saying like I go through times even in my cycle as a woman where I'm like, no, I want to have like a heavy, intense workout today. Like it's not saying that those things are inherently masculine, but it's paying attention to the other factors in your life of like, when I'm at work, am I like, shoulders to my ears and stressed like out of my mind, and I'm trying to control and I'm trying to manipulate and I'm letting people walk all over me? Like you can still own a business and be very successful and very busy and like top of the food chain and be feminine, but you need to nurture those aspects of you for sure.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And it's hard. It's hard because like I said, trust and surrender are like the two biggest like feminine qualities. And when you own a business, how hard is it to surrender and just trust and not manipulate, not get like, you know, even sometimes you hire an employee and you're like, I could just do it better. Like, let me just, oh, she's closing tonight and I'm not there. Like, what's going to happen? Like, I just wish I was there. And like, maybe I should just start closing. It's like, no, trust and surrender, like really, really making those things a habit for sure.
Yeah, trust and surrender. I love that. Yeah. It's funny because when you were saying that, I don't know why I thought about, you know, the pressure of, you know, when you're in business and you're a business owner, and it's like just surrender to the quietness or the calm in
and
your
switch
mind.
To gratitude as well. Like that's another thing. Switch to gratitude. Like we were talking about the imposter syndrome. Switch your perspective. Switch your relationship with it. I'm overwhelmed. Like I did this last Monday. I usually see max 4 clients a day. I saw 8 clients last Monday intentionally. I gave myself 2 days off after, guys. I practice what I preach. But I intentionally saw 8 clients that day. And I, instead of, you know, feeling that overwhelmed that day, and I naturally felt it. Obviously, I can't prevent it. But at the end of the day, I was like, I'm so lucky. Like, I'm so lucky that overwhelm was a thing for me today because I saw so many people and I touched, you know, so many lives and I made money and I had a busy work day. Like, how lucky am I? How lucky am I that, like, that's my complaint today? When a couple weeks ago, my complaint was, I'm not busy right now and I'm stressed out. And oh my gosh, like, what if this doesn't turn around? It's like, okay, well, things have changed and they did turn around. So, like, let's just be grateful for it today. Yeah. Because it could be a completely different forecast next month. So like you can find gratitude in anything. Absolutely. Even if it's just, even if it's not, I'm grateful for this, but it's, I'm grateful that happened and that didn't happen instead. Right. Yeah.
It was kind of the same thing, like I was saying in the previous episode where, you know, you get to. Yes. You get to go through this. You get to
you're lucky.
You're lucky. I'm lucky to be in business and go through this challenge and what I'm going to learn through it.
I'm lucky that I have to figure this out. I'm lucky that I have an obstacle in front of me that I would not have had if I didn't own a business. Like I was just on my way here, I was driving, I passed my old job. I used to work for Porsche South Shore. And
oh, really?
Yes.
Wait, you were in the car business?
Yes.
Oh, me too.
Most of my
me too.
Yeah, most of my 20s,
oh my God,
and I loved it there.
Too.
They're a great dealership.
Oh
I love
God.
them there. But I was actually stopped at a light on my way here, and I looked over to the left, and I saw it, and it like grounded me for a second because I've been like a little stressed recently, and I'm like, wow, it's a Saturday at 3:30. Like I would have been there a year ago.
Oh, until like 9 o'clock.
Waiting to get out. Like I can't wait to leave. I just wish I had my own thing. Like why am I working for somebody else on a Saturday? I could be doing this. And I'm like, and I'm on my way to shoot a podcast with my friends who also own their own businesses. And like it was just a quick switch of like, I'm so lucky. Like I'm so lucky that like life has changed in such a positive way for me. And even the stresses, like even the stresses of a parent, sometimes it's like, oh my God, my kid's driving me insane. It's like, I'm so lucky that I have a healthy little child running amok in my household right now, driving me crazy. And like, I know it doesn't take away from the overwhelm of things, but that switch goes such a long way.
Absolutely. I love that you were in the car business.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is,
Ferrari and Porsche.
wow. I worked for Toyota, Lexus, and Mercedes through
I mean,
the
so
journey.
you know all about that like hustle culture
Oh
though,
my
and you were in
God.
a very masculine industry.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And sometimes, you know, when you are in the pressures, I always say the grass is never greener. Like there's always these good things
of
to
course.
having like that 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's nothing wrong with
There's
that.
nothing wrong with it.
And
It is for some people. Some people would never
Absolutely.
in a day in their lives want to own their own business. They're very content with the 9 to 5.
Absolutely. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with
Nothing.
that. But sometimes like when you're in the pressures of entrepreneurship and going through like the roller coaster and you're having good days and bad days. But then in a moment where you're like, I don't know if I can do this. And I just want to like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to quit your business, your passion, what you love.
And that's
what
fine. And then what? What are you going to do?
Right.
Like, do you really want to do that?
And then you think about, okay, do I really want to go back to 9 to 5? Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Escaping sounds good at first, but that's when you're like, okay, well then what are you going to do? I've had that thought so many times last year. I'm like, so what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And
I'm
then,
not. 'Cause
and
I'm
then
not
you're
going
like,
back.
nope.
Yes.
Bring it back. And we're on this. We're going.
And that's kind of what I mean too when it comes to like your mental health being first, that like if you get to a point that it is like that where it's like, I'm out, I don't want to do this anymore, like this is too stressful, it is more beneficial for you to take 2 days off and reschedule a couple people if you have to, if that means that you keep your business, right? Because what's the alternative? You leave and then you lose the entire business because you lost your mind over the last like, okay, so like take a couple days off. Like I know it's going to suck and I know some people might be upset and I know you might lose some money, but that or lose your entire business and lose your mind and go back to a life that you clearly weren't happy with because you would have never did this in the first place.
Right. And you know, the pressure, right? As you're talking all this and I'm just thinking about, there's also good pressure.
Yeah.
Right? So like why I'm saying this. So like, let's just say great things are happening in your business. You're being recognized, you know, or nominated for something of an achievement and you're getting accolades and all these things and accomplishments. But then the pressure of all of that, it's like, okay, I was just going through that and I went to Brian and I'm like, okay, so now the pressure, you know, I just won, you know, again, best microblading of Long Island, but now it's like, it's a positive, but then it's like putting more pressure on top of you to just continue. It's like, okay, now I'm here, like people are viewing me as this person or as this business and like, but it's like, I don't like the pressure of like not going backwards and like how.
Well, that's where the trust and the surrender comes in. That it's like, okay, you won best of this year. Well, now I have to maintain this. This is who I am
it's like
now.
so much
so
pressure.
It's like, well, what if you don't?
All
Well, and I
eyes
would
on
ask
you. Like,
what
oh
if you
God.
don't next year? Then what?
Yeah.
Right.
Then what? Like, then what?
Then
like,
what?
like, seriously, you're going to keep microblading.
Of
Like, you're going to
course.
keep doing it.
Of
You're going to
course.
keep, like,
I'm going to be happy for
the
whoever
world's going
wins.
to keep spinning.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like, you won in 2025, and I'm sure you'll win in 2026. But if you don't, it's that letting go of just like, okay, it's detachment. It's like, it's
That's like not tying your worth to your achievements.
Yes, it is. And that's what detachment is.
Yeah.
Detachment is not just from people. Detachment is detaching from outcomes. Because when we get attached to outcomes, you don't have control over outcomes. You have some, right? But like you have no control over, you know, you have control over your business and over your craft, but you don't have control over people logging in next year and nominating and voting. And you don't have control over another microblader sending out a mass email to 500 emails that she bought to vote for her. Like you don't. You have no control over the situation besides your own actions. So the pressure, I totally understand. Like I've been there as well, even as a content creator. Like if I create a video that has 3 million views and then I'm like, great, the one I post tomorrow has to have at least 3 million. What if it doesn't? And TikTok's actually like taking a weird hit right now where all my stuff is like, so my views are so low. And for a while I felt like this intense pressure that I was like, well, I need to keep creating a certain way. I need to produce a certain kind of view, certain kinds of analytics. I need to have, no, I don't. No, says who? Says you, says me, says you, but says who? We are the only people that are usually driving ourselves insane with that pressure. Nobody's watching us as closely as we are. Nobody cares as much as we do. And it's totally okay to have a positive, like you said, of like, oh, I got 3 million views on that video. I'm going to try for 3.5 tomorrow. Like,
Right.
it's like
An addiction of dopamine hits.
But that's also a form of detachment, that it's like, I would love for that outcome to happen, and I'm going to plan, I'm going to work for that outcome. But the key is, but I'm okay if it doesn't happen. Like, again, like, it's not saying like detaching and not caring about anything. I won best microblader this year. Awesome. I'm going to shoot for next year. That's my goal. And if I don't reach it, that's okay.
Detach from it. It's okay.
That's okay.
We might have to make a series out of this.
Absolutely. Yeah,
for sure.
So our bonus episode turned into a full episode.
I know.
Jay's like,
Jay's
we're
like,
at 45
yeah,
minutes,
episode number
so
10. Yeah.
we gotta wrap it up.
This is really good stuff.
It's really good
and
stuff,
it's just
so
really
close
talking
out.
about just a
Yeah.
conversation, and it's so relatable in all areas.
I
Whether
was just
it's
going to say, all
business,
areas of life truly tie in
It's a
together. They all
formula.
do.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying before, you have relationships with your business, with your phone, with your family, with your partner, with food, with exercise. Like, they all tie in together. They all do. How you treat one is how you will treat another.
Absolutely.
So
And
if you work on one, you're working on all of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think the formulas and the points that you gave us, you can apply it to anything.
Anything,
many areas,
literally
yeah.
to anything.
Absolutely.
Anything.
All right, well,
Yep.
you guys, the audience, let us know if you want us to have Kate back again, because I think
Yes,
we could
thank you
definitely
so
keep
much.
going.
Back. Yes.
You are incredible.
You're incredible,
and
Thank you,
Kate.
guys.
breath of fresh air.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank you so
having
much
us
for coming.
Of course, thank you for
We're
having
so
me.
excited. Yeah, we'll definitely have you back again.
Awesome.
So
See you
thanks for
soon.
tuning
Yes.
in.